Hi everyone, welcome today. I've got Bert with us. Bert, do you want to start by giving a bit of an intro and a background about yourself, who you are and where you're from, etc.?
Thanks, Robin. I live in Victoria, up on the border near the Murray River. I've been a paramedic for about 30 years,
Mm.
and these days I'm a manager with Ambulance Victoria here in Victoria, helping to manage the health system through the current crisis.
Yeah, a few challenges in that space right now.
Mm.
And so we've been working for a while now. Kind of, it's in the months, but it's kind of getting up there now. And so,
Mm.
for you coming into the program and working together, like where were you at, kind of, to actually like jump into the program? What was happening for you at the time?
At the time, Robin, I suppose retrospectively, people could say I would say I was probably a bit broken,
Mm,
a bit burnt out. I was at the time I was working very hard for several years to try and gain access to the higher duties in the organisation to grow my career, grow my
mm,
superannuation. Being a child of the 60s, I've got that provider mindset for
yeah.
my darling wife who doesn't work. So I was really keen on growing my career and being very accommodating with the organisation as to what its needs was as opposed to what my needs were.
Mm,
So retrospectively, there was no work-life balance to speak of in the
mm,
end, and it got to the point where the current situation I was in at the time in higher duties I couldn't extend it because I had to get out. It was too much. I think I was within a few weeks of hitting the wall, colloquially.
yeah.
And then I came across your good wife on LinkedIn,
Yeah.
and I was looking for a way to get myself out of the situation I found myself in, and then we made contact, and it went from there.
Awesome. And so, well, not awesome that you're in that situation, but like it's such a common place that people are finding themselves in now, like there's so much pressure on us now than ever before. And you've been around a number of years as well. And so,
Mm.
it is particularly prevalent right now. So fast forward in a few, however many months it's been, 6 months, maybe
I
longer.
think it's been more like 9, I think now.
9 months, yeah, it's like a
Mm.
pregnancy, isn't it? We're going to
This
get
is
to. So fast forward in 9 months, how are things for you right now?
right now, I'm in a much better place, of course. I have found that what the program's delivered for me is an awareness of my personality,
Mm,
who I am. It's made me realise what my authentic self looks like, and I don't think I really knew that before.
mm,
Um, being a 30-year veteran as a paramedic, I guess you form your own schema in your brain about what sort of a person you are and what your personality is. But with all the assessments on what makes me me,
mm,
I now understand the personality traits, the good and the bad and the ugly, as we say,
yeah.
that help me or can put me in a bad place if I'm not aware of them, those traits. And I think I use that virtually every day now, that knowledge about what sort of a person I am, my authentic self. I'm much more aware today of my work-life balance, which
Mm,
is reflected in the comments I get from my wife.
mm,
Even colleagues I work with now, who tell me I look totally different. I
yeah.
don't feel. I guess I feel a lot different. I feel a lot more relaxed, but I hadn't realised my persona, what I projected, the energy I projected, and the way I looked,
Mm,
had gotten to a point where people were noticing that. From the inside looking out, I lacked awareness.
yeah. And people don't tend to notice the difference until they see that change. You go, oh wow, what happened to you?
That's right.
Have you been
That's right.
to some health retreat or something? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
and so in give us some statistics. Like, so for instance, I know that you said before about the impact on your work-life balance and how good you were feeling, and you give some numbers. Like, give us some context of how bad it was on a out of 10, for instance, to out of 10 now with regards to your happiness in overall life. Where were you at and where are you at now?
Well, back when I found you, I think I was probably at about a 2.5 out of 10 as far as my work-life balance and my happiness.
Yeah.
I was in a pretty dark place.
Mm,
I don't mind saying that I was probably quite depressed.
mm,
I wasn't sleeping well.
mm,
Look, I probably drank a little more than I usually do. It's
mm,
not a good thing. I probably indulged in that more than I liked,
Mm.
as a bit of a crutch, I suppose, a bit of escapism. I was looking for ways to relieve the pressure.
Yeah.
I was under an enormous amount of pressure. The pressure I put upon myself,
Yeah.
mostly, all perceived by myself. So I'd say I was in a pretty dark place back then. Nowadays, if you were to ask me now, as you just did, I would say I'm probably about a 9 point something.
That's pretty
I'm feeling
good.
very buoyant. Yeah,
That's
I'm feeling
pretty
buoyant, light. I've, as you know, through the program, it's helped me realise some plans for myself,
Mm.
and those plans are coming to fruition. And I've got hope for the future now, which is of having a good life.
That's awesome. So if anyone's kind of feeling like they're, oh God, like 2.5 out of life, 9 months time, you could be a 9 as well. So
yeah.
And for you, like, what's been some of the things that you've practically done that's really helped? And I mean, like, we've obviously you've spoken about the personality diagnostics being really important for you, just understanding who you are, what's true Bert in amongst all of this, and making choices around that. So that's one thing. And then obviously there's the different trainings that you might have done. Obviously we have our one-on-ones, but then there's the group sessions as well. What are the practical things that you've actually done and implemented that's helped you move from there to here?
I think the initial one-on-ones, particularly between you and I, convinced me of the efficacy of your program and how it can actually, in real terms, help people like me. The resource centre is fantastic because you've got things on there like, rebuilding your avatar, as we call it, trainings into looking at yourself from a different perspective, the impact you make as a leader. I've always been a leadership-based mindset because I did leadership at university. I've been in leadership settings probably and in a uniform of one sort or another most of my working life. So those leadership settings are pretty important to me. So the big things I got from the program there was about being my authentic self and how I present myself, the energy I project, and what sort of a leadership impact I make in my workspace. But not just in my workspace, but in my private life as well. I've been involved with Rotary clubs and different things and boards. So while I've modified how much time I rein in now for myself, that the impact of that learning went out into my private life as well and at home. Which was fantastic. It had a very positive effect. Journaling. I was journaling for a time as a method of coping with my thoughts, getting things out of my head, because I'm a believer in thinking in paper. And paper is a great way to think things through. But I don't think I was doing it effectively. And the journaling topics that we've discussed have helped me to modify the way I approach it. Gratitude practice, for example. The meditations that we learned from Tanya, tying that into how a reflective journal on how I feel each day at the start and the end of the day. What good thing have I done for anybody today? What one thing have I not done so well today that I can do better tomorrow? So I think that practice, whatever format people put it into, helps you to be a more rounded, aware person. The group sessions are fantastic, and I've seen so many personalities on that group session. All of them very different, but all of them take something from it in different ways. Myself, the group sessions first of all make you aware that you're not broken. You're a human being. You just have some issues that need to be sorted out. With the help of others, it allows you to be authentic and open and honest with people who are going through similar things. It gives you a forum to bring your concerns out and talk them out in a safe space. I've never felt intimidated to bring up any topic that's going through my mind when we have our group sessions that I feel might be in the background that I need to get out there and get some opinions on. And with the live chat, with the sessions that we have, you also have we do a lot of information sharing on YouTube videos, resources, some stuff to look at, the resource centre, books, for example. I'm a big reader, although I'm switching to e-readers these days. It's a great source of information. I've shared a couple of books with people that have really helped them, for example. So I think the whole package is what does it for me. I think if I just did the one-on-ones, for example, that would be okay. but it would be like sitting, not that you're a psychologist, but it would be like sitting with a therapist or something.
Yeah.
And you get that limited bounce of two-way information. I think tying that in with the weekly group sessions is fantastic. And the diversity of the group that we've got from all over the world, all walks of business and life, is fantastic. That's something that it's like a little family. And there's a lot of trust there, and it's great. I think it's very valuable because it makes you feel that you're part of something special, but also that you're not alone.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, absolutely. I feel you. I mean, I get kind of tingles because I love it, and it feels like a family in the way that everyone's so different. You know, like people say, oh, what sector are they from, or what seniority? And I'm like, we've got everything from CEOs all the way down to people who are, you know, the kind of the beginning part of their career in earnest, you know, like in their maybe early 30s, you know, up to kind of in their 60s. And so, and from all sectors, but there's a commonality through everyone, that humility and openness and willingness to kind of learn and share and everything else. That's the common factor that sits through kind of everyone that I really love. And also you mentioned about the chat, and I also like the jokes that happen in the chat as well sometimes. Quite funny, just to bring a bit of joy, a bit of joy to it as well. Do you think anyone would be resistant, or what blockers would there be for people in joining in on the group kind of thing? Because some people go, like, I just want the one-on-one. Do you see, from your perspective, was there any blockers for that? And if so, what would your advice be? Yeah,
I think if I was advising someone about the program, I would say that blockers. See, I do a lot of public speaking and things, so I'm okay with speaking with groups of people that I don't know. I think the point here is vulnerability. I feel that some people, and I mean, I admit I felt this at the beginning too, to a degree. Until I got to know the group. I guess the big blocker would be people don't want to seem to be vulnerable in front of others. The driver for not wanting to do the group sessions is probably that sense of vulnerability, and perhaps a little embarrassment. Yes, I felt the same. I was a little embarrassed about the dark place I got myself into. But I realised that I had to demonstrate some vulnerability to you, for example, who I didn't know when we caught up the first time. I was very vulnerable, as you'll remember. In fact, I was more vulnerable than I first intended, and sadly, but it was good. The outcome was good. I think the drivers for people not wanting to do it is that sense of vulnerability and embarrassment. But I would say to people who are concerned about that, once you've done the first group session, those fears are all gone. You'll realise very quickly that it's a safe space. And you can demonstrate some vulnerability, get involved with the conversation. And the more you involve yourself with these conversations, the more you gain from them. I have a book full of notes of different things over the time that have been interesting for me, but also things that have been relevant to me. And I reflect on those in my reflective journal. And I keep all this stuff because it's, again, like the resource centre, this is another resource I've got. I've got a little book that I keep all my interesting notes that I garner out of the scribbles from all these conversations. I've got that forever to reflect back on. I think too, it allows you to process the benefits of the group sessions. It allows you to bring up subjects that are of concern to you. And it'll allow you as a group then to brainstorm them and process them and come away with some really positive, practical tips to move forward.
Yeah, totally.
Seen this time and time again.
Yeah, totally. I always walk away with kind of new stuff as well, and that's the great thing, bouncing off of multiple people. So
you never stop learning, and that's the thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you very much, Bert, for joining us today. If you do want any help or support, please feel free to reach out. Always happy to catch up for a chat. Thank you very much, Bert, again, and we'll see you all next time. Cheers, guys. Bye now. Bye.
If you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. Feel free to share with friends and check out what's up next for more videos from my channel.